everyone, welcome back. Today I thought we would play with some Holbein gouache and Daniel Smith watercolors with a color palette. I'm going to do number 301 because I thought, wow, that's colors I wouldn't pick to put together, and so it'd be very interesting to see what we can do with that. And I pulled this out of Color Cube number 2 from Sarah Renee Clark. So I'm actually kind of excited after I've pulled these out. You know, I showed y'all in a recent haul where I got these art toolkit palettes. And then I swatched out my Daniel Smiths because I've made Daniel Smith palettes. And then I got some Amazon Holbein palettes, and I put my my gouache in here. And so it's real easy to tell watercolor from gouache because of the way I put these in here. And, you know, I love Daniel Smith and Holbein, but when I'm doing, say, a color challenge, it's so convenient just to pull out those Kuretake colors because they're in great big pans. They're easy to grab out of my drawer. I don't have to sort and hunt through all of the tubes and figure out which one might work. And so this is going to help me grab them more frequently because now they just sit on my desk and they're really convenient in this palette format. I'm still working in that Cotty paper, the 8x8 size, because it's what I had by my desk and I love them. This is our color palette inspiration, and I have just taped 2 pieces down here, and I'm going to set that right up there. And I'm going to grab some of these mop brushes. So today I've got the 0 and the number 4 Raphael Soft Aqua out here, and I could kind of get these started if I knew of a color that I was going to use. I'm kind of feeling like over here with these 2 colors right here, which are, let's see if I can grab this out of here. These 2 colors right here I think fit right there. With those, it's pretty close, or even that one, so I could wet that one down. Because with the gouache, they rearticulate really nicely, but they dry out and get like super dry. And then we could also do brown, could also be like that one up there. So let's just in case. I like the opacity differences between the gouache and the watercolor. So basically, that is burnt umber, and then these are raw umber, lemon, gardenia yellow. So that's the ones that I have wet there. And then I'm also kind of thinking here with the Daniel Smith, this color right here, which is 3 from the end, so that is Italian deep ochre. That's a really pretty color for that kind of peachy pinky one there, so maybe we'll get that wet. I could also do like a brown, which this last one's kind of that brown, and then it's got black in it, and so I might consider doing something charcoal or black on top possibly. So maybe as a stencil, maybe we'll pull some colors to do a little stenciling on top. So I don't know, I'm just kind of spitballing ideas with you when I start talking about different colors and stuff there. So I like these bigger, longer pans. I don't like little half pans. They drive me a tiny bit insane, but I like the great big pans because then I can use my mop brushes and I can really get those in there. And I feel like I've got enough surface to grab paint. So that's what I'm using. This paper's dry, by the way. And I'm just going to come back and we're just going to do some yummy watercolor abstracts and just see, you know, what we can get today. Just painting kind of intuitively here. And as always with my little watercolors, I generally start in the corners and work my way in. It's just my own preference there. So that was pretty fun. I did this I think might be the same. Well, oh, it's a tiny bit darker. You know what? Let's go for it. It is a tiny bit, or maybe it's just it rearticulated a little bit easier, but I do like that darkness that color gives us. Don't ask me now what it was. I've already flipped it and looked, but I don't remember off the top of my head even what I just said. So Whoa, look at these. Okay, I also kind of like this brown one up here. So let's see if we can get some of that brown. Huh, it's kind of a puny brown, isn't it? Let's see. Oh, you know what? That next one down was much darker. Let's go ahead and get that one working. I'm gonna go ahead and put this one out there, but we'll come back with this one. Oh yeah, it's not as warm. It's a little cooler. Maybe I should let that sit a little and I can come back in a minute with a little bit more. Make it even darker maybe after it's had a chance to sit for a bit. And let that water soak in and really get back in there. Because that brown had a lot of warmth to it. This one's a little cooler, a little in the color things. I like it. All right. Let's see here. So I kind of liked this one here. Let's just grab. Oh, see, now that's kind of that warmish brown. It's not as peach. Let's grab something that's going to be more of a peachy orange. Let's grab this one. What is that? It's 4 from that. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That is quinacridone sienna. Let's just see. Whoa! That was not what I expected. Totally got off of our color palette there. Keep in mind when I picked the color palette challenges, the goal is not to be exact. The goal is to get close, to kind of rein you into a color palette, not to be exact. It doesn't have to match perfectly. That's just not the goal. The goal for me, let's just try whatever this is over here. What is that? The goal, that is burnt yellow ochre. The goal is, see, now that is that color. Burnt yellow ochre, that's that color. The goal is just to kind of rein me into a color palette because I like too many things, and this is a way to work through the process for myself and make what really could be like the hardest part of the process, like what color do we want? It makes that part of the process just easier because you've narrowed down the hard choices already. What are the colors? And then just get close in there. It doesn't have to be exact. These are pretty. All right, we're gonna let that kind of dry and do its thing because the more I add water, the more it's going to do something crazy. And let's pull out some cardboard and see if we can get something out of these. It may be kind of dry, but we're gonna try. Just set these on top of here and give them a little bit of weight. The goal is to soak up a little bit of watercolor or push the watercolor. Either way we can get it. So let me let this dry for a minute and I'll be right back. All right, I took a little play on Facebook break. Let's just see where we got here. Might not be perfect, but that's about all the time I wanted to spend playing on Facebook. Oh, this makes me happy every time I see something like that right there. Ooh, see, now and these are ones that I keep reusing. So there is paint on here that's going to kind of determine where maybe it doesn't soak as much. But you know, sometimes the goal is to also just push it and let it pool around the corrugated cardboard. We could also paint this and stamp it down for some corrugated pattern. I like doing that also. So I might reserve one of those to do that. So I'm kind of thinking that I'm good with the watercolors. And the gouache. The reason why I like to mix those is gouache is a little more opaque than the watercolor, and I like the differences. But in this instance, they kind of both look like watercolor. I mean, they usually have the same binder holding them together. But one of the biggest differences is the pigments are a little bit larger with the gouache, which is what makes them a little bit more opaque and thicker. So this is a Stencil Girl, Stencil Club stencil, and I really love how these look like the patio blocks on your 1960s patio. And I kind of feel like I want to use that pattern because this is one that came in maybe last month, and my goal on, you know, being in that club and buying stencils and stuff is to try to use them. So I have pulled out just something similar in color. This is Artist Loft Copper. I could have pulled out golden copper. I could have pulled out who knows what. This is some yellow oxide. Ooh, I'm glad I shook that before I actually took the lid off to squirt some out. This one's nice and liquidy. This is Blick Yellow Oxide. Just putting some options out here, but I'm almost feeling like this one here is super cool. I love it. And maybe just kind of coming in kind of subtly. I can feel the paper is still a tiny bit wet. That cotty paper is way different than regular cotton watercolor paper. So dry artist sponge is what I'm using, and I'm just making sure I've got a little less paint on the sponge. Yeah, the cotty paper's weird. It's not like regular cold press watercolor paper, so if you try it, don't expect it to be the exact same. It's just not. So as with all the stencils, I do kind of go a little more organically. I don't want to go edge to edge. Oh, look at that. Totally, that's cool. Okay, I don't really want to go edge to edge and do like a square like I see here. And even though I can see the stencil here and what it looks like a little different on the piece that when we put it down. I'm not sure if you can visualize things perfectly or not, but that actually looks a tiny bit different than what I just was even expecting. And now I kind of want to go off a little further, go up a little further. There we go. Whoa, that one's super fun. We could do a different one on this one. We can just try them out. I kind of like this one here. We can go crazy with some pattern. Why don't we just try that? Let's just two different ones. Let's just see what we get. All right, so again, I'm not going to go edge to edge. I'm just kind of going to go a little more organically there. Oh, that's super fun too in a totally different way. So with the Stencil Club past months, if you're in the club, you can buy the past months. If you're not in the club, it actually has been really fun, and I'm going to stay in there a little bit longer because I do like some of the bigger things that come now that I'm not bigger stencil adverse like I was after playing in the art journal. Okay, that one's pretty cool. So that one's super fun. So if you join the club, you can buy past months. This one is from 1 of 2024. So for me, I just got this last month, and then I just put these in these music sleeves, these clear music sleeves, and that's how I've been storing these. And let me tell you, then I clip them here on a little pant hanger or skirt hanger, and then these just kind of hang down off my dresser over here so I can grab them. This has been the best storage solution because now they just hang on a little knob beside me and they're easy to pick out from. So a win for that as the storage solution on these big ones. Okay, now I'm kind of thinking Tim Holtz got a little, this one is Mini Stencil Set 57, but I kind of like these vines. I really love this one. It's very similar to some other ones that you see me use. I don't know about the stars, but I love the vines, and I thought this one might be a good choice on here. And I could do it in yellow, or I could do it in white, or I could do it in yellow and white. Maybe I'd lighten this up a little bit. I could add a little white to this yellow. I could just add some gesso to it and make it lighter because I feel like it's kind of dark. And I'll just mix that with my sponge. I'm not trying for anything. Ooh, like that. Okay. And then I can just kind of make some vines grow on here and do something like that maybe. Let's just see. And if you need to be more exact, you can do this with a little paintbrush. I'm not looking for exact most of the time. I'm just working it kind of organically. That was too much paint, but it's still pretty. Less paint. Way too much paint. All right, let's squeeze some paint out. If you do that and you're like, oh, I don't like it, just get a brush. Just get a brush and work that back into your painting. And don't get too overly upset about it. Just work it in and let it be part of the pattern of something that's on there, so that you're like, oh no, it didn't work. It's fine. Let's try it over here. Let's see if I do less paint. Oh yeah, so maybe not. This might not be my favorite stencil. We're not getting a good clean one out of this one like we are some of the others. Let's just blend that in, and that'll just be what it is. All right, maybe not my favorite one. Now I feel like we need to go back to the more organic-y, blocky things that I kind of like. Oh yeah, see, that feels better. I wasn't feeling the leafy one. Just blend it back in if it doesn't do what you thought it should have done. Ooh, I like that. Okay, so now I'm kind of wanting possibly, how about something white on top? Like white flowers or white damask or white something pretty. What about... Got some more hanging. See, it's so easy just to grab these. What about something like this on top of that? That's some more kind of... I do like this. Is that too big? Maybe not. Let's just... I do have smaller flower ones, but these are 8x8. They're a little bigger than the little stencils. I'll hang that right there. I do love this one. We could even do the whole thing, but I kind of just want to do like a part, like a piece, like a little area. And it's got paint on it, and so we could definitely have, ooh, I like this right here. Whoa. We could definitely have some of the, whatever this color is that I was last using. It could bleed on top. This is my very thick titanium white paint. And I could use a brush. We could paint it on with a brush. Let's see. Let's grab a, maybe we'll grab this one. This one's a Princeton Select half-inch something lunar mop. I don't know. Kind of feels like a stencil brush though. It's like an oil painty kind of brush. Let's put this right here, and this is going to help us probably, maybe, get a little more exact. So I'm using thicker paint for this to work out hopefully a little better. Thick dry paint, completely dry brush. And then, if we don't love it, we can just blend it in again. Just trying to show you some solutions. If something you put on there doesn't work like you thought, rather than giving up or being upset, say, okay, let's just blend that in and move on to the next whatever. Okay, I like that. I kind of wish I'd come further down and had more flower there. Let's see what we got. Oh, yeah. Okay, now I'm loving that. Oh, yeah. Okay, let's see. Maybe because I liked that so much, I kind of like this at the bottom. What if I do a little bit down here on this one? Kind of like some of this. Let's see. Ooh, maybe I like this one right here. Okay, here we go. And I think what I'm going to do to kind of help me keep that mostly right there is just to grab a little piece of painter's tape, so that I can not have to hold it the whole time. We'll just tape that little bit right here and right here, because I feel like I want this whole flower area here, which kind of, you know, makes that patio block, kind of makes it like have a purpose. Like, oh, look at that, it's at the patio, we got some flowers, you know, you can kind of see a little story building there. Okay, so the tip of this brush is not as fine as I might like it. That's okay. Just mention it because I just thought of it as I'm doing it. Kind of splays out a little bit instead of keeping a nice tip. but it is a nice like thickness. I do like how it picks the paint up and does with the stencil. Let's see, I want this leaf here. And I've got some little stencil brushes. I can use those. You know what else I've got? Let me grab. This is my number 6 round blender brush. It might be even better for getting a finer area here. It's a nice stiff little brush. It's good for drawing shapes on your abstract art. I like using this brush a lot. And if you got stencil brushes, you can use those. I've got some hiding somewhere. I don't keep them over here on my desk. This is the same brush, the number 12 round. But I think it might be easier on these bigger areas for the bigger brush. Okay, I'm feeling pretty good about that. Let me set these right there. I have a little brush holder. I should get that out, huh? Alright, let's see what we got here. Let's see if that's going to be enough. Let's just see. Whoa! Let's pull that up. Ooh! Ooh, look at that. I love that. Oh, now I'm kind of thinking maybe I want this one through the middle. What about that? Okay, I'm kind of feeling that one like right there. Maybe a little to the edge. Oh, I think I'm like that right there. All right, let's tape this down. And then we can work it. Work it, girl. Oop. Alright, we'll just tape it right there on that side. Alright, just trying to get all the little edges there so I can go back with a little bit bigger brush. Just my Liquitex titanium white. I like that real thick paint on the white because it's opaque and it really does give a pretty white when you're stenciling. So it's turned into my favorite white usually to stencil with. Ooh, I like that. Should we just kind of come on down diagonal here? Ooh, that's pretty. All right, let's pick that up. I like that. Kind of want there to be something down here. Maybe this leaf like I did up here. So maybe that leaf will finish me off and I'll be happy with this one. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Woo-hoo-hoo. Okay, good choice. That actually makes me happy. Happy. I like that. Let's put those brushes all in the water. I just throw the brushes in the water till I can go wash them. Throw that in the water. We don't have any of the darkest color here, but we did stay pretty darn good in the rest of our color palette. So this could be the moment when we do some botanical drawings on top, or maybe we come in with some mark making. Maybe we do, you could do all kinds of stuff. We could do some black dots with the Posca pen. I'm trying to let this dry while I'm chatting. Okay, what if that was a fun little moment there? What if we go ahead with our corrugated cardboard? Here's one I've painted on, and do like some charcoal cardboards. Like we could do. I've got this liquid graphite, liquid pencil stuff from Sketchbox that I really like. And what if we just take a paintbrush and just paint some of that on our cardboard, and do some corrugated cardboard lines. Oh, I think I'm gonna like it. I hope so. I hope we're gonna like it. Let's just see. Let's just put it right here. Ooh, let's put it right here. Oh, okay. That actually was kind of nice. So we'll just go ahead and go with that because after we committed, we're there. But I like that. Okay, here we go. Let's do one over here. And because we already have lines in there, that kind of fits in really nicely. Okay, I'm happy with that. Little cardboard pencil lines. That was a good choice. And we could come back on top of our stenciling now, which you know I like to do stuff on top of my stencils because then it makes it look more painted. So I feel like I need to grab my mungos because I like them. So I got these just sitting to the side of me. And now I'm kind of looking. We don't have to do, it doesn't have to be like so, doesn't have to be like something super dramatic, but it needs to be another layer that can make these things pop. What about the orange? Should we do the orange? Oh, we got kind of like this pretty color. And I usually like to just go ahead and could have done green there. It's leaves, but that's okay. You could color it like it's an actual flower you painted, or you know, just come through and so you could do multicolors. I guess that's what I'm kind of saying there. So we could do multicolors with the two oranges. But you could do like pink and green, you know, some normal colors. I'm kind of thinking a little more abstract here with what we've already done. So I'm kind of liking that. You can do it with pencils, you can do it with some Neocolor 2 crayons. You can get creative there with some of these if you want to add marks on top. I just like the pastels, the oil pastels, just because I do. And then we could also, we just finished that with the Sennelier oil pastel fixative, and it sets those up beautifully for us. Okay, so that was kind of fun on that. I could do something different on this other one. What do we want to do over there? Kind of like this color here. It's a kind of pulling that color right there perfectly in. So maybe we could do that. And you can just be strategic wherever you want to put that color. It doesn't have to be everywhere. Just your choice on how you want to accent stuff. I like accenting on the edges sometimes and just adding some extra whatever's in there. But you don't have to do that. You can just leave it white. I just think it's fun. Those are fun. How do we want to finish this up? Is it finished? I don't know if it's finished. Do we need some little dots? Maybe some black dots with our stuff here? Maybe some white dots. White dots are always a good idea. It's kind of whimsical. Where do I have a good white one? There we go. Ooh, oh, I like it with a little bit of the dots. That's nice. All right, let's peel it and see what we got. And then you can, after you take a look, you could always continue to add to it. But I'm kind of happy with where we're stopping at today. And then you can see, like, what have I done that you would do different? You know, so if I try stuff out, then you can be like, haha, I've seen that. Let's try something different. So I do like to just play and experiment with you guys and give you ideas. And then, you know, what would you have done differently? And then you go on your art piece and do that differently on your piece. I mean, at any point, if you thought, oh, I wish you had done this or that, go do that on your piece and test it out. This is playtime. We're here playing, having fun, experimenting, learning new stuff. And I love how when you peel the tape, it's like finished. It turns it into a finished piece of art. Even if you're just making one big scribble, if you put an edge on it and peel the tape, it looks finished. And if you ever think, I don't know if I'm good enough, you know, when you're making stuff, go look at some of the art galleries online and some of the stuff that they're selling for the prices they're selling it at. Okay, this is my favorite one. Go look at some of that. There's a local gallery that had something that looked like just a scribble, and then that was the piece of art, and it was like $300. And I'm like, huh, I would have thrown that away. So you just never know what actually is going to be some good art. Okay, so this is my favorite of these two. These are super fun today. I had a lot of fun experimenting with this color palette that I might not have normally picked. And I tried to get all the colors in, even if it was just a little bit. And I think it came out super fun today. Hope you enjoyed painting and testing out this color palette. And I'll see you guys next time.